Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking a super familiar, ancient poem and turning it into a deeply personal, practical roadmap for navigating, literally, the toughest seasons of your life. We're diving into Psalm 23 today, and we're going to decode it verse by verse. By the time we wrap up, this isn't going to feel like some distant piece of poetry anymore. It's going to feel like a personal promise, custom written for exactly what you're facing right now.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You've probably heard these iconic 6 verses before, right? I mean, they've comforted more hurting hearts than almost any words ever written. They're the exact words people turn to in the middle of the night when fear just won't let them sleep. But there is a hidden depth here that we so often just read right past. So, think back for a second. Where did you first hear these famous words? Maybe it was at a funeral, or sitting in a hospital room, or maybe just from a grandparent when you were a kid. Establishing that personal connection is absolutely crucial, because it's how we unlock its true meaning. We all have a history with these words, but today, we're really going to look at the actual picture behind them.
Okay, let's look at the agenda for our visual roadmap today. We're going to cover 1. The shepherd's hidden roadmap, 2. Finding rest and gentle guidance, 3. Walking through dark valleys, 4. Sitting at a table of abundance, 5. The journey home, and 6. How to pray the psalm today.
All right, Section 1. The shepherd's hidden roadmap, unlocking the ancient metaphor. To really get this, we have to remember the context. Before David was a king, he was a literal shepherd who knew the fields intimately. And what's fascinating is that he isn't insulted by comparing us to helpless sheep. He's actually comforted by it. Think about it. Sheep are completely dependent. They wander off, they can't find good water on their own, and honestly, without a shepherd, they just don't make it. But the good news here is that the good shepherd takes full responsibility for our survival. If we're the sheep, it means someone else is carrying the heavy burden of our care. Let's look closely at that very first verse. Notice that little word, my. That right there proves this isn't just a generic statement. It's a deeply personal promise that you aren't just lost in a crowd to God. He isn't just a shepherd or the shepherd of the general public. He is intimately aware of you. Because of that personal connection, you can finally just exhale your anxiety. I shall not want doesn't mean you get every single thing you desire in life, but it guarantees you won't lack the fundamental things you truly need to survive and thrive. Your shepherd has you covered.
Moving right along to Section 2, Rest and Gentle Guidance, Finding Peace in Green Pastures.
Let's slow down our pace for a second. If you've been running on empty lately or just feeling totally exhausted, these verses are your direct invitation to finally find some deep rest. Notice the text specifically highlights that he makes me lie down and refreshes, or restores, the worn-out soul. And this brilliantly points to a literal fact of shepherding. Sheep simply will not lie down unless they feel completely safe, fully fed, and totally unafraid of predators or their surroundings. God provides such complete, overwhelming care that your anxious heart is actually able to settle down and rest. The shepherd has perfectly secured the environment first. And it gets better. Sheep can actually drown in rushing water. It completely panics them. So a good shepherd specifically seeks out calm, still water for them to safely drink. God knows exactly what would overwhelm your worn-out soul, and instead, he gently guides you to the exact quiet places that will bring you back to life. Your job isn't to figure out the path. Your job is literally just to follow the one who already knows the way.
Let's dive into Section 3, Walking Through Dark Valleys, the shift from he to you.
Now, the absolutely crucial word here is through. It's a massive reminder that whatever dark season you are currently in, you're just passing through it. You aren't living in it forever. Valleys inherently have another side, and the shepherd is walking you all the way to it.
This is one of my absolute favorite parts. Look at the micro contrast in the pronouns here. When things are green and quiet in the first 3 verses, David talks about God. He makes me. He leads me. But in verse 4, in the dark valley, the language becomes deeply personal. For you are with me. The dark valley doesn't push God away. It actually draws the shepherd intimately closer to you.
Ultimately, the cure for fear isn't the absence of danger, but the presence of a God whose tools offer the perfect balance of strong defense and gentle rescue. You've got the rod, which is a weapon used to fiercely protect the sheep from predators, and then you have the staff, a crook used to gently pull wandering sheep back to safety. Together, they bring ultimate comfort.
Section 4, a table of abundance, blessings in the presence of enemies.
This paints such a vivid picture. It means God can bring peace, provision, and joy into your life even while you're still surrounded by unresolved opposition.
The enemies haven't disappeared. But right in the middle of the chaos, this table of overflowing abundance is set just for you. Gratitude sees this overflow that worry often completely misses.
Then there's the anointing of the head with oil. This was a literal shepherding practice. Ancient shepherds used oil as medicine to heal wounds and keep away tormenting pests that would literally drive the sheep crazy. So what does this mean for us? It means God gives deeply personal attention to healing your specific, daily irritations and your deepest wounds.
Section 5. The Journey Home, Pursued by Goodness.
You know, instead of trouble hunting you down, the original language here suggests that God's goodness and mercy are actively chasing and pursuing you. Even on your worst days, they don't just tag along, they persistently follow you through every single season of your life.
So, when we step back and look at this complete sequence, it's beautifully clear. We go from provision to rest, through the dark valley, to a table of abundance, and finally to a forever home. This isn't just pretty poetry, it is the literal map of a life lived with God as your guide.
Finally, Section 6, Praying the Psalm Today, Applying the Roadmap.
How do we actually apply this ancient wisdom to our week? Well, when anxiety hits, read the Psalm slowly. Personalize the words to your specific situation, and turn this ancient poem into a living, breathing reality for yourself. By intentionally speaking these comforting words over your own life, you bridge the gap between David's ancient fields and your very modern struggles. Don't just read it, pray it.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this to chew on for the week ahead. You have a shepherd who knows your name. You are absolutely not walking alone. So, what dark valley are you walking through right now? And will you let the shepherd walk you all the way through to the other side?
Welcome to this explainer. You know, today we're taking a super familiar, ancient poem and turning it into a deeply personal, practical roadmap for navigating literally